Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Boys Season 4 review, the penultimate episode. Lots of penultimates this week. I'm the Clown Prince of Puppets, Tress. Now I'm joined by
Hashtag me too, Taylor Field.
hashtag you too. Your name. I feel like between this season and then Gen V with my name, lots of puppets with the boys. They like puppets, so it's not a bad thing. But yes, we're here to talk about this. You're getting this a little bit early because we are reviewing Long Legs tomorrow, and also there is rumored to be a Captain America trailer, so we might talk about that in a mini-sode. I'm also on Marvel Alliance this week, so check that out. So you're getting this a little bit early. Finale next week, I'm not sure. Was there any movies next week? Oh, you guys got Twisters, so we have to figure out if we're doing.
I gotta talk to Kirkland about that.
Well, yeah, really, really. By the time this retro drops, the movie's gonna be out. My God, but yeah, the usual spiel. Head down below for everything you need to know. Audio, video, Patreon. That's the best way to listen and support us. We're independent content creators, so just get episodes ad free, early, exclusive. You get about 2 episodes exclusive a month. After 9, hopefully we'll be coming back later on, which is our call-in show. If not, at the end of the month, and then GeekVerse.ca, which I won't explain now because it's nice and late. But GeekVerse.ca, August 3rd, an 8-hour stream for a 9-year anniversary. 4 events, lots of fun stuff. If you want to extend the stream with our stretch goals, you can join a Patreon, you up your tier, or join Patreon. It's going to be tons of fun. But yeah, just come here August 3rd. That day, it's going to be lots of good times happening with us and patrons and friends. Yeah, it'll be a good way to celebrate the 9-year. My goodness. So I will go on my overalls because I wasn't here last week. So I think that to kind of combo this week and last week together, I think this week I am in the camp where I because I think there's been a debate of I feel like it's been more mixed this season, right? I don't think a bad mix, but I think it's been more there's been a contention of, oh, it's a good season, it's fun, or hey, not a lot is happening. I'm in the camp where I have enjoyed it, but I do agree with some of the sentiments where, especially like last week, it was, episode 6, and that was, just 2 away from the finale. And I did like last week, and the last 5 minutes, we got lots of kind of revelations or kind of showing which paths we're going to go for the end of the season. But I did agree that a lot of it, which was fun, all the tech night stuff, all the sex stuff, a good time, lots of fun, but it was one of the more over the top episodes. And I think this season, what's different, I'll have to really think back on it, where I feel like it's a very much more specific character stuff, like Huey and his dad, Butcher and what's going on in his mind, Homelander, and dealing with not only his son but just evolving, where I feel like the other seasons were a bit more plot progression. So that's where I feel like that might be throwing some people off. And I could agree where versus this week though, and I think it is okay because it's the penultimate. It kind of feels like it's tough because I feel like you can say this is great, and it's almost like Game of Thrones when they used to have their great penultimate episodes. And I do think this was a great episode, but it feels like we got a lot that happened in the last 20 minutes to a point where I don't know how, but I think you maybe could have spread some of it out. Because, like I said, I feel the past few weeks that, and another example was that episode where it was like the animals episode with the V, right? Like, other than getting Giancarlo back, that felt like another, okay, it's like you get the scientist and that's it. And the rest is kind of, okay, lots of hijinks. I think that's been the thing that people have been talking about. Is there been too much hijinks versus plot progression? But I think this one had a good combo of it. I will say they brought is his name, Webweaver, back?
Webweaver, yeah.
Yeah, we won't spoil what happens there. We'll just say that's something, or that shtick for me. I had enough of it. This episode was just the same joke over and over. But overall, I think this is a very great penultimate episode. Last 20 minutes is, you want progression, you get a lot of it. It's just boom, 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 very, very fast. So I think the finale is going to be great, and I'm kind of hoping that means that. It sounds a weird thing to say, but season 4, I think in the long run, I think it's always going to be good. I think so far I would put it below all the other seasons, but I think it's going to be weird to say this about an entire season, but it might feel like a setup season. So episode or season 5, they can just really go balls to the walls, no pun intended. So I think there's pros and cons with that, because you can get some stuff out of the way, but at the same time you kind of suffer. But I think this was a really good setting the table for the finale. Also, like I said, with the back half that delivered on some big moments, some cool fight scenes, some big character shifts as well. And that's where it just it literally just felt like they hit a jump forward button on some people, we're just gonna get this right now. It's okay, so I'm interested to see where that goes. There's one twist in particular that did not see coming at all. I think they did that kind of on purpose. But man, that's a shitty situation to be
Yeah.
in. So yeah, I think this was probably the best episode of the season so far. So yeah, that's where I was last week. I enjoyed it, and that's where I just ended up being too tired to make it. So I thank you for holding down the floor, even though there was probably some disparaging things said about me. Again, Geek First Day, me, Taylor, wrestling match number 4. But I think there's a lot of intriguing things. Like I said, maybe it's kind of like it feels almost similar to the Acolyte penultimate, where I'm like, I wonder if this would have been better like a little earlier on in the season. I don't know what they have planned for season 5. That's different than Acolyte, right? Because we don't even know if there's a season 2. Season 5, it could be all constructed where they had to have this. I think maybe this could have been a bit more of an exciting episode earlier, and we could have got some progression. And there's some stuff like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing with the Frenchie storyline and Kamiko. You know, like we do this one storyline and it's just like, it's literally just flipped. It's like, oh, that's over. It's like, well, like I said, I just like, is this a character that we just don't have anything to do? And should we just kill the, like, same thing. Maybe we should just fucking kill them off in the middle of the season. People would be like, man, a big progression. I'm not saying that because I don't like Frenchie. They just did, like I said, I like this episode a lot, but I still cons where they just did something where I went, what was the point of this? It's just it just feels like we've been here before, and it just feels like an easy out of, oh, this is a big step for this character. Like, oh no, actually we're just kind of back to status quo. It's like, all right, I really don't know what we're doing here sometimes with that character specifically. Kamiko less so, but so I don't have no cons, but yeah, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, I don't have any cons either. I think it is.
No, I said I had cons, so
Oh, you had cons. Oh,
you
yeah.
don't
Well, I
you don't
don't.
think the Frenchie thing is when we get to spoilers as far as like they do this thing and then they're like, yeah, this
I
person
think
figured it out and we're all
in
good to go.
retrospect, it impacts negatively those other episodes more than this one, I would say. I
It's fair because
so
then we got all those episodes of building up this thing and then it's like this big thing that he does and now it's just they just took it back.
exactly,
They
yeah.
so,
Yeah, that's it. So overall, though, I really like the episode. It moves things along, and yeah, there's some twists in here. There's some confrontations I wasn't expecting, and I felt like we had a lot of really just lines drawn and sentimental moments too with some of these characters. So I really liked it, and it has really set up the next episode, the finale, quite well. That I'm on edge. I'm excited to see it. And I think you're right, though. I think that this is just acting as kind of like that setup season, right? And it's gonna like season 5 is gonna be just absolutely crazy.
I think so. So
I hope so.
yeah, I imagine. Well, especially with it being the last one, I don't want to hear any of that shit. I can't. The guy that plays Matthew Star, like, oh, we're trying to angle it to be like a cliffhanger season so we could do a movie. I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I don't. You do the boys movie something else. I don't want the show to end this way. So, anything else non spoiler?
Just the way this episode ended, yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I felt like,
No.
okay, well, something's different, but I wasn't expecting that. That caught me off guard. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so let's take our ad break, and then, as we said, go to Patreon and you get episodes ad free. But if not, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, let's start with that one because that's definitely the biggest one. Because obviously we've met characters before, like that Homelander guy, like the guy Homelander was messing around with season 2. I can't remember his name, where he's like a changeling, a shapeshifter, right? But I can't remember. I think he had some generic name like shapeshifter or changer or something, but whatever. His was different, where his body like doppelganger, right? His body morphed, and then so we met this character, and now I'm forgetting because it's almost 2 a.m. here. It's the character that cut Huey? Where were they originally? What were they looking into in this episode when they found this character?
Oh, because he's whatever they are. They're the shooter, basically. They're going to assassinate the president. And so they were hired by Sage,
right.
and they found the documents of the
Okay.
whole heist and the plans for the building of this event, right? In their
Right.
apartment.
Okay, so I forgot about the Sage part. Yeah, so they got that documents. They find this girl that's all beat up, so they think, oh, who's this poor girl? Well, who knows what gender this thing is. I don't think it's going to have a gender. It'll probably be like that Gen V character. But They find this poor girl looking a little rough, maybe beaten in a closet. Huey goes to help her out, gets a knife to the hand, and then she starts to run. And like, oh, this is weird. And then all of a sudden, there's just like little globs of like skin everywhere, and there's blood. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on? So then, when it seems like this character, unlike Doppelganger, that like is a mystique that shapes the body, this seems like it's more like a snake situation that sheds their
Hmm.
skin, but instead of just shedding their skin to be themselves again, they shed their skin to be someone new. And so this like is the person that takes to the present. And this is where it felt like not rushed, but I almost wonder if this could have been something that could have been in last week or something, because it does feel like we meet this character now, huge situation that has been presented, not only trying to kill the president, but just with our character. So this character gets away. We'll get to other stuff, but later on, tough day for the boys.
Hmm.
Starlight and God Butcher are getting a beer together, and this fan wants to take a picture with Starlight. She goes to, well, I don't know which way to tell, but I guess I can tell it in chronological order that she goes to the washroom and this fan hits her with some sort of chloroform, knocks her out, locks her up, and then what we did that happens at the end of the episode. What they showed us first was Hugh's back at home and he's talking with Starlight, and Starlight has the costume on, even though she looked like she had no interest in it whatsoever. So I was with you, I was like, this seems like a little something might be off. And even then, like, I get like because they start to have sex, and again, throws a passion, but it just felt different, which is weird because that's still Huey. So I don't know, like I guess it's just saying classic male and whatnot, but it just felt too almost like joyous for a day where it's like things aren't really going well. But yeah, they have sex, and then they cut to Huey asleep, and Starlight's looking at him all happy, saying, "Oh, okay, they're just that's what it is." Even if they had this very good happy sex, and maybe that's what they just needed, and they'll go on with the day. But no, fake Starlight goes to the safe, opens it up, gets some stuff, gets the laptop, everything, those documents on Victoria. So that's not good. And then they reveal that, like we just talked about chronologically, that this snake person, this changer, um, that's the one that was with Huey and did
Hmm.
the swap at the bar. And yeah, Starlight is locked up. And I have some questions about Starlight's strength overall now, because I felt like she did, like, all superpowers have like stronger strength, but I feel like in the fight with the Deep, until A Train showed up, she got like her ass kicked the entire time.
She's not a avid fighter, I would say, right? I don't
I
think any of them really are.
guess. But I just felt like they made it so one sided, and then I guess maybe she doesn't have strength because I thought you would break through this chain, but I guess she just really doesn't
That
have
looks
that.
like a. I mean, I think she has strength for sure. I mean, when she was lifting up the Deep just by having her fingertips in his gills, right? That takes strength to lift a full-grown man. So and those chains looked like they were extra fortified with something in there. So
I guess I'll have to hear it next episode. I'm sure they'll just give some bullshit reason as far as, oh yeah, this is VOT tested, whatever. I'm sure that'll be it. Even then, I'm excited, I guess, but more interested of why they're keeping her alive. But yeah, what did you think about this twist here that Huey has now had sex with someone that's not Starlight, and now they've lost all the files, and Starlight is locked up. So that's quite the triple hitter right there for the opposing side.
yeah, I can't see Starlight getting broken free in the finale. I feel like something's gonna come life or death kind of scenario
Mm.
cliffhanger is gonna happen for her there because something was creaking on the floorboards when she was like chained and looking around. It was completely catching me off guard the fact that yeah this changer did not need to have sex with Huey but just like opted to just to I guess make him go to sleep like it could have gone so many different ways.
Hmm.
Did not have to go that way, but the changer chose that way, so
She
that
could
was
just kill
intense.
them. Like that's the thing where it's like, why wouldn't you just kill Huey? And that he has no reason. It's you. Like that's where, especially because that's why I'm interested to see. Like I'm guessing maybe it's Newman that did that, right? Because maybe she just wouldn't. She's still. We see that her and Huey still get along in a sense, right? And I feel like she doesn't view him. She views him as the opposing side, but not maybe as
I
the
don't think
enemy.
Newman has any like connection to the changer though. I think that's all Sage, and that was just the changer just I don't
Hmm.
know being fucked up. Maybe I'm sure it'll come to into play later on, and it'll have a very effective dynamic between the two characters once Huey finds out,
I
once
guess
Starlight
it's
finds out too.
I guess it's just interesting because people bring this up before, but especially this situation, I'll have to see the reasoning because just why wouldn't this changeling just kill Huey? Like,
Hmm.
what reason do they need Huey alive for anymore? So that's why I think it's Newman, because she would say, "Don't kill him,"
That does make
because
sense.
they're
I don't know,
friendly.
I feel like Sage has her reasons, especially because we know she knew that A Train was the leak the whole time and was just
Yeah.
choosing to like she doesn't it doesn't seem like she wants these people to be getting killed. Weaver got killed and she's like, "Ugh, like Homelander's just killing people," and she doesn't want that. I think she wants people in specific places so that she can either use them or just I guess everyone is of value to a certain degree, and so that's
Hmm.
why I feel like even the boys are valuable because
Yeah.
A Train's giving them information, and what they do with that information will help her and her cause. I originally thought that when the Changer was in the closet and it was like, "Oh, you're Starlight," and she touches Starlight, and then we see her start changing. I thought, okay, she's gonna turn to Starlight and assassinate the president as Starlight, and that would
Mm.
really fuck
She
them
still might,
up, and she still might. So
or they
we'll
still might,
see how that scenario unfolds.
because that scene
But
wasn't ending with her changing out of that skin, right? So she could
no,
easily
that's
stay as
true. So
Starlight. And if you want to
that's
like
true.
keep your cover, like if you want to keep things copacetic, if she goes missing, Huey and everyone would know the. Plus, like if she goes missing, the laptop's missing. I feel like that makes people a lot more worrisome, because then that's two. Where if the laptop's just missing, that's, oh hey, we were asleep and someone broke in, or someone broke in while we weren't away. Where if Starlight's missing, then I think you go to DEF CON right away. Okay, laptop's missing and Starlight's gone, so someone's
Yeah.
really fucking with us. So no, I thought it was a good surprise. Not, I'm trying to say like, oh, I'm never, not often surprised by shows, because I can be, but like I still feel like even like House of Dragon, the battle there, where it's like it's great, but you kind of know, okay, second character does this, they're probably not going to make it, and that's fine because that's the storytelling and it's like going well. But that's where it's like this was a genuine surprise, and I think that's one good thing where this character was featured enough. I still think you could have featured them last week with the same amount of screen time, but they weren't in there. For I'm glad they didn't do something like a whole episode of Starlight maybe being off and then the reveal. I think they were smart to do it at the end like this, and I kind of wish
Hmm.
that it's kind of funny. Last year we got Secret Invasion, and we're kind of getting a version like this. This was always my pitch of like, I'm not the biggest Skrulls fan, but my always pitch was, okay, if you're gonna have someone that's a Skrull and it's someone we know, show us the viewers first, so we're in on it, and then that's like, oh, the whole time we can watch knowing. Like next week, if we see her with the boys, we can go, oh well, that's not real Starlight, and you get to analyze and everything. Where a
Hmm.
big twist, sometimes you can kind of feel like you got screwed out of it. So this was like a fun being literally screwed out of it, because it's one scene where you're like, oh, this is odd, but okay, they're just feeling it in the moment. She's back in her costume she had no interest in, but that's where it's like you don't feel too betrayed, because it's like a 2 minute scene. You're like, oh, okay, that's clever. Where a whole episode, even, or a season, like Secret Invasion, sometimes doesn't always pan out the greatest. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think she'll, I don't think there'll be any ill will to the sex aspect. That just sucks. But like, how's he supposed to know? I guess, right? Because that's a difficult situation. So
It's yeah. I mean, how?
I guess she might.
He just doesn't know.
I guess she might say something like, "Oh, you should know with the suit." I just really don't want them to be broken apart or fighting or anything like that again. I want them to be back on the same wavelength. So hopefully, it's
Hmm.
just looked as like a unfortunate incident, but you move on from it.
So
So
we don't know the limit two of the Changer now. Do they inherit the powers of the another suit that they touch? I don't think so, because I was thinking like every time they do a sex scene with Huey and Starlight, she's always like she does her
she's always
climax
glowing and
and her
whatnot. Yeah,
eyes to glow, yeah, and they cut it in here so you don't see
yeah.
that. So that was another kind of miss.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case, because we like Doppelganger, that was just purely looks, and X Men obviously not the same canon at all, but that kind of varies at times. So I would prefer not to. I always think that's almost too OP of a power. If you get, I know it could be like to a weaker degree, but you turn them and get their power, it's like, okay, that's a bit much. But yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to think. Starlight, she had a conversation with her mom. Her mom still kind of is disappointed with her because of the abortion
Hmm.
thing. So that's something. And then the other thing we can talk about in transition is, yeah, Starlight and Butcher, who's just fucking knocking on death's door, not
Yeah.
looking good. They were attacked at the boys' center office, run over by the Deep and Black Noir, which was very interesting, because we thought that Black Noir might just be a regular guy actor, but I guess he's still a soup, because he had powers. He was taking shotgun things. He was fucking flying.
And he's a narcoleptic. Just
Yeah, so,
passes out.
yeah. So that was interesting. That I didn't think they're going that route. I thought he was just there to intimidate. And then the Deep, who's also just he's in the Deep where he's feeling a lot of pressure. He killed his octopus girlfriend accidentally, non-accidentally. Like I think he had her in rage destroy the case, but he also didn't save her. So I'm gonna say that's a murder. That's
It's definitely a murder.
yeah.
It was like that Shrek the third death scene with the king dying because is like the heavy breathing and then they
Right.
think they're dead and then this
Yes.
octopus kept wheezing behind the door. He's like, what the fuck?
I'm like, I don't remember any. I guess she was fucking a frog, so I guess it's the same thing. This guy's fucking octopus, but yeah, killed her, and that was the start of. This is definitely the most aggressive I've ever seen the Deep. He goes right into Homelander's office, like, "I'll kill everybody for you. I'll kill the fish in the sea." And because Homelander now we get found out later that he wants him just to go kill the boys. Because Homelander, we'll get to him. He's also just in the fucking Deep as well. But they head over there. A Train's in his full hero mode now. He saves Huey and
That was
Butcher.
great.
He saves Starlight and Butcher. So it's great we've gotten that full turn. I hope he makes it to season 5, even if he dies. I worry that he's gonna die next week. I really hope.
I don't think we'll see him. I think
I
he's out.
hope. I just worry if they want one big death. I could see like because he did get out and with his family and he got his tracker. So I hope that's the situation. I just don't. I want him to be around for the finale just because it's that classic story, right? Of he's having that hero turnaround, finally doing good, and then like my prediction is no matter what, I don't think he makes it to the end of the show. That's what I'll say. I think he will bite the dust because I think that's a classic.
He'll die a hero.
Yeah, but like that sucks because he's finally becoming a hero. So he could have
Yeah.
stayed longer, been a hero. But yeah, that's why it's gonna suck. He'll turn that. But yeah, what did you think of the fight scene? Obviously, they did not win there. They again also made the Deep seem stronger than I thought he was because they beat him up and they throw this huge weight on his head and they they say some line about killing him and MM's like, oh, you got any ideas? So it's like, does Deep also is it like? How do you kill him? Like I feel like the Deep doesn't need
There's
to be an invincible being, you know?
there's probably certain degrees of resilience that these characters have, and I
Yeah.
mean when you see a soup kill another soup, well, like Homelander. I mean, Homelander's got all the bee's knees, so it's different. But yeah, I don't know what the limitations are with the Deep. As for him and Black Noir showing up, I thought it was pretty awesome. I like seeing the Deep just be batshit crazy. For a second, when he did appear there, I thought, is he also going to be like just usually playing Homelander and he's turning a new leaf here? But no, he was
No.
calling Starlight a bitch and he was just getting pissed off. And I like seeing Starlight have a little bit of like vindication here and kind of getting her revenge on the Deep a little bit because he just did
Yeah.
her so dirty in that first season. So I think
Yeah.
this is well warranted.
Especially like I think it's a good thing of A Train saving them because you can see the differences of a character finally learning their differences where or learning from their mistakes where Deep is literally this episode he's going, oh, and you accused an innocent man. He's like, no, you like you like sexually assaulted her and see like it was like a clean cut clear case that you were a terrible person. You
Making a white man the victim.
yeah, innocent cancellation and stuff. So I think it was good to have them face off to show like the two sides of the coin. The person that saw the light and think I gotta change this and I gotta be a better person. And shout out to last week's episode when he did save MM and that kid saw him and was like inspired. And A Train was for the first time in his life like an actual hero. But then you see the other side of the coin where it's the cowardice where someone keeps falling back into doing these things. And now I think the Deep is like he's never been more committed to Homelander than he is right now, you know? So
Yeah. It'll be
scary.
interesting-
You know?
It's scary, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what goes on there. And I thought that Black North had taken off, but I'm kind of glad he stuck around. I like that he's talking and just when he's flying and doing all this crazy shit, everyone's freaking the fuck out, like what's going on? And yeah, then MM shows up and just nukes him with the minigun out the window, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. They had a lot of
and-
weapons in there, which was smart. So
A lot of weapons. They're very, very smart. I like the follow up of them. Just obviously they reported A Train to Homelander, and they're walking down the hallway, and you just get like a 30-second scene, like bro, and
yeah.
then they find out that Sage was sleeping with both of them, but she was not dumbing herself down to sleep with Black Noir.
Yeah.
Deep's like, bro,
kind of an insult
the Deep.
for the Deep there that she
Yeah.
has to lobotomize herself to be with him. So yeah, no, we'll see. I think Deep will make it to the very end, and I hope Starlight kills him for whatever. She's gonna need more, I guess, than heavy lifting and everything. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, he's like I said, no pun intended, but he's going off the deep end. I don't think he's killing his fish partners now, and now he's lost Sage, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. And then yeah, to transition into Homelander, he's more of a mess than ever. Ryan's just not really cooperating. He's mad about this leak situation. Firecracker says it's Webweaver, who like kind
Kind
of
of was. I give her that.
yeah, in a way, but I don't think he was like the leak. But I feel like she thought he was the leak, and Webweaver unfortunately kind of answered questions that made it sound like he was the leak.
Well, he was coked up, right?
Yeah, so that was a scene that I didn't. I won too many web fart jokes. I get it. He's like, "Oh, I'm nervous." Like to
Ugh.
me too. Right when they walk in, and then maybe another one. They did it like 4 times. I was over it. I was like, "Okay, this isn't funny for me anymore." Homelander decides to kill him, and just rips him in half in
Hmm.
front of Firecracker, which is interesting because I feel like she's not really a love interest per se, but she may grow to be, or she kind of is. But I feel like between I can't remember the girl in the first one, but the girl that was the original breast milk one, and then Stormfront. All his like love interests have seen him kill, and then it's and I
The
guess
breast milk one in the first season, I don't even think that was a love interest. That was what Firecracker is, right?
no, he loved her. They were having sex and everything like
Were
that.
they having sex?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, they got
Oh.
it on. Yeah, so they were in a relationship, but and like I said, I guess Maeve and him did date. But I'm saying his main ones for our show and our timeline we were watching, both those characters knew what a bad person Homelander was and was either fine with it or employed that. Where I don't think Firecracker's against it. Like she's not turning against him. Later on in this episode, she offers her assets again, but I think she was very surprised that Homelander is kind of this brutal, and that's where it's interesting. I don't think she's going to turn or anything, but I think now she feels a little out of her depth. And yeah, she did offer herself, and he said no. He pushed everyone away. I found again this fits the Homelander character, what an egotistical like idiot in a way of I don't get why he's crying about A Train being the lead because it's like you've treated this guy like shit for like at least 4 years, 4 seasons, and he's like acting like this is like his fucking brother or like a wife betraying. And he's like, oh my, I couldn't believe it was him. It's like, what? Like, out of everybody, like I get because he's like the only last original 7 from when we started the show, not counting the new Black Noir. So I think that fit Homelander that he was so worked up about it, but like I don't know, man. You pressured this man to do a lot of bad things. So,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Well, he's
Homelander,
uppity, right?
he's uppity, yeah. But Homelander again, he also looked like he is the deep is going a bad route, but he's more just like motivated. Where Homelander, I feel like we could next week get the thing where he just snaps and murders a bunch of innocent people. Like I really think he is very. And now that was the last chair in the top two that Ryan. He didn't say whatever the truth was, which I don't know what he was gonna say. I don't know if he was just gonna outlaw or what the case is on some stuff. But either way, he's not listening to Homelander now. So I
Hmm.
feel like that vision he had a couple seasons ago, where he just lasered a bunch of people. I could see something similar, but real life this time because I feel like he's really at the end of his rope right now. He doesn't he's even when he killed those scientists a couple episodes ago, he seemed more like calm, collected and at peace, where now he's fidgeting around, he's crying, he's a complete mess right now, and I think we're going to see something really bad happen next week with Homelander.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's uh the only thing he's got left is Firecracker and her breast milk, but
Mhm.
it's only gonna go so far because he's shutting that down. He's really, really alone. Um,
I guess he still has Nor and Deep. They're
but
still
Nor
with him,
doesn't
right?
really count. He knows it's not the same Nor. And Deep,
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't
he's
give a
still
shit about
doing
Deep.
it. Noir's still like he's still with them, right? Like he's still gonna follow orders, I guess. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I love when Deep gave that proclamation about I'll kill everybody, I'll kill all 7, like fish of the 7 seas, and he's like, all right, that's great. Like you said, he gave no shits about like the Deep is pretty much doing like and my axe and even when we saw when he left that message to Ryan when he said, okay, can you do this for me? Okay, great, thanks, love you, bye. Like he's like that's where I guess the Deep's so dumb he won't pick it up, but Ryan does pick it up. That
Yeah.
starting to show that he doesn't care about him maybe as much. I don't know because I do think Homelander does care about Ryan. We've seen that before, but I think it's just that again, if it comes down to Ryan versus Homelander, Homelander's always still gonna pick himself, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. He's done that so many times already. Even with this phone call where he's like, "Oh, just do it for me. You know, do the puppet show for me."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
What do you
there's
think Ryan
that.
was gonna say when he was gonna say the truth and then he left away?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure everything that he does know, but it's it's tricky. What has Homelander really told him, right? Like let him in on any
Yeah.
secrets? I don't think he knows about concentration camps for the disobeyers and the new Vought land that Homelander wants to create. So,
And if he doesn't, I feel like that time he spent with Mallory, I know he was a kid, but I feel like Mallory should have just been giving him all that info about all that bad stuff. So, like, if Homelander ever did get him, it wasn't like, oh, this is my dad and I just love him, you know?
but then you
Because,
don't want Homelander to just outright kill him.
no, but in a way where I think, like, tell him that, but Ryan maybe doesn't share that with Homelander in a way where
Mm.
it's like, hey, you got to keep this close to the vest because this is stuff that's going on, or even like, does he know the like? I would hope not, because like as I say, does he know the truth that Homelander like raped his mom or in order to get him? But I feel like if he does know that, I wouldn't be down for him sticking around. Again, I still don't really understand why. Again, a minor writing flaw in the middle of the season where Ryan right now is acting the same way he was at the start of the show. But we had those like 2 episodes where he was back completely with Homelander, and it was odd. Where he was like when they're like making fun of the guy and asking the guy that to kneel and apologize to that girl. Remember that episode?
I do, yeah.
So yeah, I feel it's just weird that he rejected Homelander here again and Vought again. So I feel like we didn't need those middle episodes of him kind of being like a prick again. It felt like we were going
Hmm.
that way, and they just did it to try and swerve us, but we still got the same end result. But I'm curious because again, Homelander did not look happy with seeing this on the TV. So
No, not at all.
I don't think he's gonna kill Ryan. I think that would happen in like a uh, combat situation, but yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do to respond here. I don't know if he's gonna try and kill the boys again. If he's gonna try and kill, because he can't kill his mom. I don't know if he's gonna try and kill Butcher, which Butcher's pretty much dead anyway. So, I really don't know what's gonna happen next week with those two.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. It's gonna be interesting. Again, whatever his secret is, that's what I'm curious about. But maybe he'll run off and go try and find Butcher, or I guess
Yeah,
Butcher's incapacitated right now and is gonna go to the hospital. So
yeah.
maybe Ryan will go there. It's hard to say.
That's what I laugh. Like I'm kind of jumping all over, but I just didn't have this in my notes. So I don't want to forget it. When last week he fainted, right, and then this week he
Mm.
uses that as a reason why he can't be cut out for this. He has to spend time with his family. Doesn't know how much he's got. When he's like, "All right, Butcher, you're back in the lead." And I get the family angle, but when he's trying to say like, "Oh, I can't lead the team because I fainted. I might not have the health," it's like, well, Butcher is also not the guy to lead the team too, because like he could be dead in fucking hours. Like I actually felt like he was gonna give it to Huey there, and he didn't, and he gave it back to Butcher. So I thought that was odd for him to be like, "Yeah, I'm really unhealthy," but here's your new leader again, Butcher, who is like, uh, I would say, like easily more unhealthy than whatever might be dealing with, right? So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's see. Butcher, not much in this episode, really. He updated them on the plan as far as he got Newman's husband and cut his leg off, and they're working on a new cocktail because the old one was maybe too strong. And that's where I did like when they're like, "That's genocide. Yeah, you kill them all." And he's like, "Yeah, and that's why I'm here telling you about it." Like I think he's like trying his best to show like, hey, he did discover this would kill everybody, but he went the extra mile to go tell them all, right? He didn't
Yeah.
just. So again, you've seen from the whole season, all the shows, but specifically last season, that's a character that okay, he has changed because maybe the old Butcher would have done that, but
Well, he's
yeah,
ignoring he's ignoring Kessler and all that, his hallucinations, and his
yes.
ex-wife isn't appearing anymore. It seems.
Yeah, which is odd because especially I feel like Kessler's trying to push him to do some bad things. So you feel like the angel on his shoulder might come in, but we'll get that one more time. But yeah, I think that was most of the episode was him in a situation and then him talking to the thing in his mind pretty much. And I like it for the most part. I think because I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I enjoy it. Maybe if it was another actor, I wouldn't. But I'm enjoying them so far in this episode and with him collapsing. So again, don't I really don't think they're gonna kill him before season 5. I think that would be a great mistake. But
They won't do it. No, they'll keep him. Well, he's gonna be hanging in on a thread.
I
And
hope
plus,
so.
we have to see what his superpower is, right? That because he was taunting, he's like Kessler, like do the Ezekiel thing. So I think we're gonna get an answer to that, and maybe against Homelander.
Because he took the V and everything.
No, well, remember in the office when Black Noir was kicking his ass and
Yeah.
Starlight was there with the Deep, and he's on the ground. He's like, Kessler, like whatever you did with Ezekiel, do it now. And he calls Kessler out later, like, why didn't you answer me when I called out? And he's like, silent treatment works both ways. And even Starlight was asking him, like, who's Kessler? Why were you calling out to him when we're fighting Black Noir in the Deep?
So what does that have to do with Butcher having a power, though?
Because I think he associates that Kessler has somehow been able to help him get out of that Ezekiel situation.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, right. Because we talked about that with that cabin and who would have helped them out there. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could maybe buy it. So yeah, we'll see. And then not much here. His wife kissed him, says he wants her back in to be a family again, but just has to leave. But classic can't leave because he's got to stay or help the boys. To me,
Mm-hmm.
this was just like I was fine with this. This like was to give something for to do, but I like this more than what they give Kamiko and Frenchie sometimes. So I enjoyed it, and I hope this is a character that does make it out alive. I hope it's not a guy that's just sequestered that he has to be a part of the boys the rest of his life, or die. Like I want him to be with his wife and his daughter, especially after they were with that idiot guy for a while, the major like Homelander supporter that ended up being killed anyways. But do you think can make it out of this show alive?
Uh,
Don't like that.
I hope he does. I hope he does. I don't think Frenchie's gonna make it. Kimiko, I thought was toast this episode. I really did. I thought
Yeah.
things were amplifying. But I hope does. I think he deserves it. But in the boys' classic fashion, I could see them killing everyone. To be honest,
Yeah.
surprisingly, unsurprisingly. But I hope he survives because yeah, his family's gone to what, Belize, I think it was.
Yes,
So
Belize. Yeah, and he was supposed to go there, but he luckily came back and helped out A Train. So,
yeah.
who A Train again? Interesting situation. Ashley last week was very interesting. Just having the actress, like, good on her for selling it. Just like lines like, "Oh, there's a swamp down there," like that stuff. Like, like I said, good on her for selling all that. But yeah, this character again, she's not like I don't know if we did a top 10 of the boys, she'd even be up there. But she's always a minor, interesting character where, and kind of a sad character last couple episodes ago she's trying to get out of there, and then that one assistant got killed, so she shred her resume, didn't go to Disney. Here she gives A Train the pitch, which I love, where he's like kind of like throwing it back. He's like, no, she's like, no, not the fuck, just so we can get out of here, like let's just go. So I do like that they established, because at one point she like not fell in his arms but like was leaning on him, touching his chest. So I was like, oh no, what are they doing here? But I like that it's more they're kind of friends by default, as far as they're both in the shit. We need somebody. So I like that they established, okay, it's not a love thing, it's a friendship thing. But then she had the idea to just get out of there. But when A Train presented with the idea, she chickened out and just couldn't go through with it. And it
Mm-hmm.
sucks because I do, she's not like a perfect person, but she's also better than a lot of the other characters, like as far as just morality wise. She did help out A Train this season. As we said last season, she helped Maeve escape and fake her death. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a good person in there. I really worry. I honestly think she could die next week. I think she could be a casualty. It's tough. She could wait. She could last the whole time and go into a Gen V show and stuff. And I hope she does, because I think this character is really good and I enjoy her playing it. But at the same time, I could just see them, I don't know, opening up, or like just middle of next week's episode and Homelander having an issue and then killing her. Like she's expendable that way. But I thought it was like I said, I think good job by the actress and the one that plays A Train as well. I thought it was heartbreaking that she has this chance to go, but she won't go because she's just too scared about if she gets caught, I'm presuming, and obviously would die. So
Mm-hmm.
because she's not a soup. So yeah, I hope she somehow makes it out of all this, but I don't know. What's your read on Ashley so far?
I hope that she kind of does make it out of this because yeah, she's super super stressed, full of anxiety,
Oh
and
yeah.
I like that she's been turning over to like a new leaf. Well, people might contest it and say, well, what about all that shit with Technia in the dungeon and all that? Well, she was not there to like kill anyone. She was
That was
just
just a
enjoying.
fetish thing.
She was
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, she was having a good time.
yeah, they weren't trying to
So
kill Web Weaver. They thought he was all complicit. It wasn't. And fuck, I guess that's a really tough like couple days for Huey. His sex life's gonna be all over the map. He kind of gets like assaulted by people that they think he's for, but he's not. And now he has sex with a different person. That's a
his
tough.
dad's dead.
His dad's dead. That's a tough
Yeah.
pill to swallow. So
Hmm.
yeah. So we'll see about Ashley. We'll think. But so you say you want her to? Do you think? I'm going with that she's gonna die
I think she's gonna die.
I'll
I
say
think
from this to
Homelander's
season
gonna.
5.
Yeah, I think Homelander's gonna pop off and execute her.
Damn.
I don't know why he hasn't yet. She annoys the shit out of him. She's
Yes,
presenting
she's not even
NFTs to
CEO
him
anymore and everything.
and yeah.
I guess he needs her for times like this where he got rid of Sage and now he has no one, right? So now she can just slide back in and
Yeah.
she'll have like new members of the Seven that he could join or asked to join because it's him, Firecracker, and the Deep. So they're down by 3 members. So obviously they can't get out. I'm hoping that it does, so that hurts his kind of stance even more, and we'll see. Yeah, Kamiko and Frenchie, I'll talk about them because, as I said before, the first half of the season, I didn't have much interest in the whole, I've done a lot of mistakes, I'm a bad person, I should go to prison. And they did that. Okay, he made loves to the guy he liked. Okay, that's all cool. And then they need Frenchie for this poison, which they figured out a way where they could at least kill Newman with it and other mutants or soups, but not for sure on Homelander. And it's like a safer one. Kamiko got hit with it this episode and got hit with the Dr. Gordon treatment of needing to cut off that leg before the blood. Now I can't remember her character. Is she gonna heal it back like Deadpool, or is her leg going?
Yeah, she can regenerate.
Yes, that's what I thought too. And so okay, this leg is going way too easy here, but yeah, like I said, to me, it's like they built up this whole thing. He's feeling guilty. He turns himself in, and 2 episodes later, for Butcher, I think it was Butcher, that just said,
Yep.
"Oh yeah, we got him back. I had Mallory pull some favors," and it's just like and I didn't love the storyline, but at least I got their doing of okay, guilty man wants to atone for his sins, so they do this whole, like you said, it will I think hurt watching later on where they do this whole thing to get this in motion, and he's just off scot-free again. He was in prison, he turned himself in, and now he's like, oh, he's part of the boys. And him and Kamiko have like a powwow. They're smiling and laughing because she tells her story, which I thought was good enough. A good little origin there, but no way where I think it's going to be... I don't know. It's... What do you think about this? I need some water. That's why... I thought I was going to choke there.
I just think that it's the way that he got out of prison was just such an easy, like a cop out of a situation.
It just
They
feels like it was all for nothing, really. Like that whole story about him feeling like those the flashbacks, the dream sequences. It's just like you said, it will affect on a rewatch. It's like, well, he goes to jail and nothing, and it doesn't even sound like he's going back. It's not like, okay, you help us, then you go back. It just sounds like he's like out. So it's just like it just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's unfortunate because I would have liked to have seen kind of how it progresses, and it was just wrapped up in this episode where like Kimiko shares her origins a little bit and how they
Yeah.
both have to live with this, and they both can be there for each other, not alone. And we had I think at least 2 episodes where Frenchie just wasn't present. He was just in jail. Kimiko's just showing up at the police station. Doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be seen. So, yeah, I just think it was a little bit rushed, and it wasn't necessarily needed. That as far as storylines go, it was definitely the filler storylines for these episodes to kind of
Yeah.
move things along. I do like Frenchie. He's one of my favorite characters. I just think I like his spirit, and seeing him down the dumps definitely was hard and rough. But I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad he's working with the team, and I hope he makes it through.
I think he doesn't. I think he bites
I
the
know.
dust in season 5. I think he'll have his journey there. We can go to jail. But yeah, like I said, I think it's for me with what they gave us if he does die in season 5, what they gave us in season 4, I think he should have died like midway with a sacrifice play, and that's the route you go. And then Kamiko has something to do because she's very hurt and alone and everything. So it's kind of like the Nick Fury thing where I think to me, I think MCU should have killed off Nick Fury a while back ago, and now it's like if you do it, it's like, and Frenchie's not exactly in the situation. I was gonna say with Nick Fury, if you kill him now, it's like, okay, cool, who cares? But I don't feel that way exactly about Frenchie, but this whole switcheroo did make me feel like, okay, there's less stakes with his character because things can just happen if Butcher
Hmm.
puts in a call, you know.
Yeah.
Is there anybody or anything we haven't talked about yet that we, Huey asked Victoria to kind of for a truce, and she just can't do it. She feels like I guess they're too far along. So, and she might have had this plan already. So that sucks. I thought it might work, but it didn't. So
Yeah, that's it was worth a try, and she's very
yeah,
sincere with him and all that, but it'll be interesting to see because he was threatening her, but not threatening her because he does care about her as well. And now with this information, if it does get leaked, it's just I don't think it is going to get leaked. I think it's just going to be well, Homelander doesn't know about a lot of this stuff with the plan. So Sage
hmm
was the one working with the shooter, the changer, and the changer has the laptop. So is this going to give Sage still more control? Like it's
yeah.
going to be interesting to see how Sage kind of works her way back in there. And that I mean that's a golden ticket if Sage goes up to Homelander and says, "Hey, I got all the information on Newman, so we can force her to do whatever we want and control her."
Or if it's not Sage, and like I said, if it's Newman, I wonder if there's a route where Sage, I don't think joins the boys, but helps him as like a screw you to Homelander because he got super just like go back to your hut and your dump and everything like that. So she could be a scorned person that's like, you know what, I'm gonna mess this guy up and I'm gonna help out the other side, and she'd be good to have on the other side, you know. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is there anything else we haven't talked about, character or storyline wise?
Hmm. I can't think of anything. I think we hit all our notes.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, next week's gonna be interesting. We'll see. I think it'll be a big finale, and I really think that other seasons have had it, but I just feel like we're gonna on like a big cliffhanger next week. That one of those of like, fuck, I need the next episode right now. Not like okay, the dust settles. I feel like it's gonna be a la almost something what did happen last year with him shooting somebody, meaning Homelander, but on a bigger scale. We'll see because he's just sitting back doing a lot of things, and people around him keep failing, and I feel like that's going to eventually snap. And then whatever conversation he has with Ryan, that could be another breaking point for him too next week. Like I think for me for season 5, as much as I love Anthony Starr and Homelander, it maybe it doesn't have to be the whole season, but I do just want to see Homelander just fucking pop off and finally just snap, and not really hold back at all, you know, and then become this massive threat that he should be, not just kind of this thing that they try to take out and then it doesn't work out and they go back to square one. I want to be like when people complain about Man of Steel and the cities turned down there, like that's what I want. I don't want innocents to die, of course. I'm saying just for the story wise, I kind of want him to make that turn, but
Yeah.
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 Well, we'll see. We'll be back next week for the finale of season 4, and hopefully it should be a good one. And I promise you, it'll not be boring.